Welcome everyone to today's webinar. My name is Ashley Reinings and I'm a director in our CFO solutions team at Thornton. I'm joined today by my colleague Felicia Geyer-Boyson, and together we help clients solve complex financial and non-financial reporting problems through placements, outsourcing, and technical accounting advice. As you can see from the screen today, we're going to be focusing on the amendments to FRS 102, which will become effective from 1 January 2026. Now, the objective of today's session is to give you a whistle-stop tour on what the amendments are, with a bit more of a deep dive into revenue and lease accounting, whilst also weaving in our practical experience from working with clients in similar scenarios. Now, what do we really want you to take away from this? I think firstly, we want you to be upskilled on what the amendments are. Secondly, we want you to have a bit of a think of what these amendments could mean for your business and whether or not you need to take a little bit of a deeper look into some of the more technical aspects that would impact your business in particular. And thirdly, we'd like you to understand what your next practical step would be in facing these amendments, whether that's figuring out a plan, talking within your business, or really just getting stuck into the numbers. We're very aware that when it comes to understanding any form of technical accounting change, there's a spectrum on where people are in the journey, whether that's you haven't started, don't even know what this is all about, to perhaps a little bit more sophisticated and dealing with more nuanced issues. Hopefully today's webinar will help all of those in that spectrum. But what we really want to leave you today is no matter how the amendments affect you, whether there's going to be a large change or perhaps not really anything, it's important that you prepare for the audit at the end of the line. Ultimately, it's about the numbers and it's getting through the audit process. So we really encourage people in the positions of any gap conversion or new accounting standard to prepare not only for their business, but also through that audit process. Something that might not feel relevant to your business may be important for the audit. So just bear that in mind as we go through these changes. Another thing we want to draw out from our experiences, these amendments generally impact the finance team, and that's why you're joining us today, but it does have ramifications across the business, and we'll touch on that a bit later in the presentation. But I'd really want everyone to be aware of, let's say we're talking about revenue, to consider the revenue and receivable process and see who in your company would be impacted, and maybe reach out to them as part of your preparations. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to go through the amendments. There's some smaller changes that may be relevant to you, and we don't want you to miss out on those. Then we're going to look at revenue recognition and lease accounting in particular. Have a look at what that transition could look like for your business on day one, and then have a look at what the implementation considerations you need to think about that would impact your finance team, but perhaps also the wider business.